Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Rocket Monday, we're gonna talk about SpaceX Starlink update, August update 2022. So let's dive right into it. Now let's just take a brief overview of what we are talking about. We are talking about something that started on 23rd May 2019. Basically, that was the first batch of satellites that was launched. Now it was 60 satellites. Now that number may not seem very significant, but you have to understand these were not CubeSats. These are big boy satellites, meaning India does have a record of like 100 plus satellites, and there are other countries also that have tried to achieve that. And not to mention, SpaceX itself also has around 150 satellites. But be mindful, these satellites are big boys, meaning each of the satellites are not CubeSat. They are big, around 100 to 300 kilogram satellites. So they are big, medium-sized satellites. So launching 60 of medium-sized satellites, that's a big deal, and that's how it started. Now, you have to understand what they are targeting for is a mega LEO satellite internet constellation. Now, why I'm using the word mega here? Well, right now, as of me making this video, you take SpaceX, you put everything else, US Army, US military, whatever have you, ESA, NASA, JAXA, whatever have you, just take SpaceX, everybody else, every private player else. SpaceX is more than that. That's the whole point. That's how much space asset they have put. So they are really going for mega. It's not a small thing. And how many countries they have license to operate in? That is 36 countries at this point in time. Now they are targeting almost everywhere. Now you have to understand, physics wise they can do it everywhere, but if government, let's say China's government is like, thou shall not sell Starlink here, they will not sell the equipment. Would it work there? Again, if a military assets bring it there, of course it will work, but again, China could try, like if that lot of that happens, then they will try to jam the satellites, but good luck with that. So they can actually aiming for global coverage. Could they physically do it? Absolutely. Now currently world's largest satellite operator at this point in time. So we are talking about some seriously big boy. Now US Air Force specifically are very interested. How interested? They are actually paying money for the service. Now here's the deal. What they said was very interesting, because there are many companies that are like, we're gonna launch this, like, be it OneWeb, be it Amazon Kepler system, be it whatever else. But here's the deal. Air Force had a very simple thing. Everybody else is infancy stage, and this company is delivering products that we can utilize in Africa. Like flat out, this is like, we have a military base in Africa, we need good internet connection, here's the deal, done, take it, go home, don't think too much about it. We have aircraft carrier, it has a satellite dish, it works right now, don't think too much about it. So it's one of those things where it's like, other companies are we gonna do this? Do it, then I will buy it. That's why there is some serious military money starting to go into this. Now again, contract right now started very small, but that's how it starts. So this is what we are talking about, something big. Now, why SpaceX is doing this? Well, SpaceX is stuck in a conundrum. Now, whether I like Elon Musk or not like Elon Musk, I do respect one core aspect of him, that he has clear-cut goal. He wakes up, I want to go to Mars. He goes to sleep, I want to go to Mars. So this sort of clear goal is really important. If you really want to achieve something, you have to have clear goal. So Mars is a very clear goal. Now, here's the problem with that. This puppy is expensive. Now again, this is a very cheap game graphics, but you get the point. Like actually doing something similar to this is idiotically expensive. So fundamentally, you will think, what about NASA? Here's the deal, NASA is very poor. How poor? They cannot even redo Apollo missions, simply because Apollo missions was around 4% of national budget. Right now they are running on 0.4%. So you can understand NASA is not stable fund. And not to mention, even if NASA willingly is like, okay, we're gonna give you billions of dollars, there's a problem that government could change. Public perception could change, and you will be stuck in the scenario. And that's another thing. Elon Musk wants to do something that is so far out that there is no monetary benefit into it. Like, would you make money of doing this? No, hell no, hell no. It's just a money sink. But he wants to do it. There is enough people seriously interested in it that they want to support him. So he created a scenario where SpaceX is not open for normal stock market. So stock market cannot force this to like, hey, abandon your space system, do this and that. Nah. That's a very smart move from his point of view. Otherwise, SpaceX would have just become another company. So that's a really good thing. Okay, now that creates a scenario. You got the Mars part, you got the understanding that you have to do A, completely private, B, it has to be self-funded. NASA cannot afford it. Now you may be like, okay, to achieve this sort of thing, you need a big ass rocket. I mean, huge ass rocket. So in those sort of scenario, there's a problem. You built a big ass rocket, there is no use for it. It's only useful for one thing, going to Mars. Everything else is not useful. Now like, no, we have this now. Here's the deal. Falcon 9, how many times Falcon 9 is launched versus how many times Falcon 9 is launched without reuse boosters, and it's actually maxing out all its capacity, versus how many times Falcon Heavy is launched. That's the reality. We do not actually need something like 150 ton to lower Earth orbit. We don't have actual uses for it. However, let's say you want to build a giant ass rocket, it does help you to build giant ass satellite constellation, meaning You can kill two birds with one stone. You build a big ass rocket, build a giant ass constellation that will make you money, and that same rocket can be now with orbital refueling allow you to go to Mars. Two birds, one stone. So that's the whole point of it. And not to mention, doing this, like even attempting this, they will create a lot of new technology, exactly like how Apollo did, and they will have a lot of intellectual property which will allow them to make even more profit, which will allow to feed this puppy. So it's almost a closed loop ecosystem. It's like we're gonna build a rocket. Again, there is no market for it, no problem. We're gonna be the market ourselves. We're gonna launch mega satellite constellation with that. Utilizing that, then we're gonna provide global internet services. With that profit, we're gonna make even bigger rockets, or actually, upgrade to next gen where we'll have orbital refueling, and then it's like self-fulfilling. And they're targeting around $30 billion a year profit. So big boy numbers. So what was the reality? Now, even with actual real numbers of 2,500 satellites that are active and commissioned at this point, and be mindful, some satellites take time to commission, some go defective. That is the minimum number, and I'm reasonably sure if you Google this number, it will change, it will keep going up. So that's a lot of satellite they have active right now. Like before this, like the biggest global system was like GPS. Then Russia built their own system, that was GLONASS. Then European Union built their system, Galileo. China also has their own system, but realistically speaking, they don't have that many satellites. This is a whole different level. So they created the satellite. Now you may be like, okay, smooth selling. Well, no, basically the satellite number grew like this, but customer number grew like this. So created a scenario where they have 500,000 customer or 5 lakh customer. That's a way too many customer for this many satellites. Like flat out each satellite is an independent scenario where it could be going up a populated area. Enough people would be having a satellite this in that area where it's like, dude, satellite is like, dude, I'm overwhelmed, I cannot deliver service. So that created a scenario where SpaceX had to throttle the users. Now everybody knew who deals with IT technology. They're like, dude, you have to throttle the system. Again, not on day one, but like once you start to grow out the system, you have to throttle it. You have to balance it out. So that was something expected. But SpaceX was like, we're not gonna put any caps on data caps, basically what we call FU policy. So SpaceX was like, no FU policy. But now they have released an official letter to France, basically every customer in France, where it's like, we're going to drop your pricing from 90 euros to 50 euros, let's just say, and then you're going to have a FU policy, and you can only use 250 GB. Now, that number is a bit too low. Like, again, I am a fiber user. I also have a FU policy, but my FU policy is 3.2 terabytes. So 250 GB in modern day, that's low. And not to mention, they're wanting to charge a lot of euros for 100 GB. So that's happening now. Enough people have now scared at this point in time that this will trickle out to worldwide audience. Basically every country that has this, sooner or later is going to happen. That was something to be expected. So that creates a pressure, market pressure. Now what does it mean for audience? Basically people who are actually using it, paying customers who are doing it, is that there are too much congestion. Meaning they started out with this sort of graphs where you had 143 megabytes per second upload. That's awesome, that's super GG. And 18 Mbps upload. That was the first sign there was congestion. This should not be there. This should be symmetric connection. It's not ADSL, it's symmetric connection. So this should be much higher, but okay, more than good enough, more than GG. But right now people are getting some as low as 12 to 4. That's low. That's flat out low. That's like something I can achieve with my really useless mobile network. That's low. And not to mention, you have to understand this aspect. If people are coming from basically rural broadband, that is super useless. Let's say 4 Mbps if you are ludicrously lucky. If you have satellite internet, as in like geostationary satellite internet, 4 Mbps, 8 Mbps, you'll be happy to go into 12. But here's the deal. You went to 140 first, now you're going to 14. It will hurt like a beep, 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 beep. So that creates a scenario where people are literally getting burnt out. And that's why you will hear rumors, not even rumors, they are actual truth at this point in time. Enough people are returning their Starlink. It's like, dude, like first few months is like, whoa, this is awesome. And next few months like, why the heck I'm dropping packets? Why the heck my connections is dropping? Because again, satellites, again, you may think 2,500 satellites are huge. Again, if they had that many geostationary, that would be huge. Even in medium Earth orbit, that would be huge. But in low Earth orbit, that's not enough. That's why their final target is around 40,000 satellites. So inherently, they are creating scenario where customers are not happy. Enough customer, like it's not just 1 or 2 customer. And now again, it is location dependent, because if there are a lot of Starlink satellite near you, then you are in really bad position. If you are in middle of nowhere, like as in like at least 2 or 3 satellite footprint away from you, like completely sparse, then you are like, good, awesome, you still gonna get this. But if you are like say in France, let's say a lot of people bought in one specific area, everybody started to use it, yeah, no, it's not working. So, and this problem is bad enough where SpaceX Basically, Starlink company has to issue out messages and be like, hey, there will be some outage, there are some congestion in the network, and that's why this fair users policy was created. Now, problem with that is like that flat out means they oversold too much capacity. They did not have it, meaning the satellite growth was happening there. They should have been always bit behind the satellite maximum capacity. They oversold it, and the fact that they removed the geofencing option, again, it did allow to gain customers very quickly, but what's the point of gaining customers if you cannot keep them happy? Because every bad customer, as in every customer that you pissed off now is leaving you, is gonna guarantee you that you're not gonna sell anything else. And more people are realizing, dude, you sold me 140 and you're giving me 14. So people are like, dude, it's not that good. People are realizing that. So reality is not as smooth as you would wish it to be. And then recently FCC slapped it a bit. FCC denied SpaceX around $1 billion of subsidies. Now be mindful, this is not cash, this is subsidy, but still a big amount, and it is like big enough where SpaceX was like actively trying to achieve it. But that creates a scenario. Now like, why the heck that happened? Well, let's dive deep into it. Now the fund FCC was allocating was created for companies who are trying to reach rural areas. Now again, US government at least does know this part. If you do not have internet, you dead. You have to have it, like flat out, there is no option here, you have to have it. But so far, even though they have been actually working for like last 15 years, flat out nothing happened, simply because all the ISP, they just took the money and they're like, what money? What money you're talking about? So that created a scenario where literally people were not like, again, tax money was being collected, tax money was being burnt, but nothing was happening. So SpaceX was like, dude, we are doing this. And again, first few rounds of subsidy, they got it. That's awesome. But right now, they did not get it. Why did that happen? Well, according to FCC, the reality was SpaceX is failing to scale up, meaning they are saying that we're going to do this. They are saying that we're going to sell this many units. Okay, they did it. Here's the deal. People are not getting good experience out of it, and it's big. That's why I said the fact that people are returning, surrendering their equipments, and people are like, just like, you can just Google, like, there are more than enough people are, dude, it's not working for me, or I am having too many drops call. Because again, many people who have shifted to rural areas for better standard of living, and they're like, dude, I'm relying on this for my main work. You're gonna go to them, it's like 140 10 upload, and then drop it to very low level where it's dropping the connection. They're like, that's just unacceptable. So FCC flat out is like, nah bro, this is not reliable enough. So FCC had one very simple scenario. You had a system, but you could not scale up. Now again, inherently, it's not a problem of scaling up, it's a problem of scaling up incorrectly. They should have only sold enough units where they're like, either geo-lock it, where they're like, okay, I'm going to distribute it everywhere. That will help. FCC is like, dude, at least somebody's getting something in here. And just make sure there is not enough concentration, so each satellite footprint is empty until you get laser interlinks. Once you get laser interlink, that's not a problem. But right now, there are not any laser linked satellites in orbit. Now, like, wait a minute, didn't they launch it? No, they have made it into the basically labs. It's not really deployed. So what we can expect in the future? Well, reality is flat out. Let's be very clear here. Starlink is not going to become anything that's going to make money. It's only a money sink unless you complete Starship. Basically, this puppy has to work properly. It cannot go boom like this. It has to work properly. If it does not happen, the end, this project is just a money waste. So, and they have to launch laser interlinks as quickly as possible. Now, laser interlinks are huge, meaning people are estimating that satellite weight will go from around 200 to 300 kilograms to 1300 kilograms, around 1 ton extra. That's why you will always see the images of Starlink deployment from Starship is much different. The satellite physical geometry of the satellite is much different because these are much bigger, much heavier, much more capable system. Now, Elon Musk is saying vague words like order of magnitude better, which inherently bare minimum means, bare minimum, I'm talking about 10x better. Order of magnitude simply means like that. So at bare minimum, it should be 10x more power. Now, if it actually has laser interlink, which that's the whole point of this, that's why it's so big and capable. If it has laser interlink, at that point in time, the congestion would be solved because laser has enough oomph to it where it can, like, I can transfer enough data fast enough where it won't be an issue. So that's something that they have to do it right now. That's why this rocket must work very quickly. They do not have too much time left. And then we come to another aspect of it. Window of opportunity is shrinking, meaning they try to launch in India also. Now, China may not want it simply because they have the great firewall of China. They may not want it. Now, that creates India as the largest market because India, A, has a lot of rural places, B, is world's largest democratic population. So fundamentally speaking, SpaceX wants here. Now, here's the deal. They tried to launch a pre-order, but government stopped it. It's like, dude, get the proper permit first, then launch anything like that. So that created a scenario. Now, why the heck Indian government delayed it? Well, from an Indian government point of view, Indian government is giving time to all the local players to get fiber network as quickly as possible. Now be mindful, if I have to choose between fiber network and satellite network, fiber network is my jam. I have a fiber network at my home, and thankfully India is slowly growing, that we went from not having any fiber options to actually having fiber options to actually having multiple fiber options. So that created a scenario where Geo Fiber, that is my fiber provider, it was such a bad garbage. They literally trolled the audience. They are like, dude, this is the demo connections. Everybody was getting demo connections. That's like 100 Mbps up, 100 Mbps down. Everything is awesome. And then they actually launched it. It was like, it's going to be 10% of your download. It's like, what the hell? Now, again, that may not be an issue for common people. It would be painful for me because I'm a YouTuber. I upload a lot. So if I paid for 100 Mbps connection, I will only get 10 Mbps. Now, that's, again, they did not did that in the launch demos. So that's why it was like very sneaky. And again, it's not a ADSL system, asymmetric data line, digital subscription line. So that should not have been there. It's like they were just throwing the orders. Thankfully, Airtel came to the rescue. Another company that started to provide fiber to the home. So they were like, we're gonna get that. And the moment Airtel announced it, okay, Jio became good. It's like, no, 100 down, 100 up. That's awesome. Now I am living that life. And even our data caps went from like 200 or 500 GB to 3.2 terabytes. Almost all data caps, fiber data caps are around 3.2 terabytes. So window of opportunity is shrinking, and same goes for USA also. While it is true that USA carriers are just trolling the government, what if any one of them decided, what if I actually work? What if I actually worked? What if I did that? Again, that will literally kill a Starlink market like this. So that's a very serious scenario. So fiber is spreading a lot, and not to mention while government loves it, like specifically US Army, and because again they are deployed over the globe on those sort of scenarios, they're like, dude, we do not have any other option, so this is like, shut up and take my money. They will not pay that much for it. And on top of that, mobile users, for example, aircrafts. Again, aircraft is a big industry, like let's say cruise ships, again the big industry, yachts, big industry. All of them combined is still not big enough. Like, you can think of that, Apple does not touch any of them. It's still multi-trillion-dollar evaluation. How the heck that happened? That's why you always want to be in mass production. So the window of opportunity is shrinking, and if they do not capitalize the mass public, they will be in a scenario, again, they will be profitable, but they will not be mass profitable. They will be like, okay, we can do moon mission kind of profitable. So that's the whole point. At this point in time, they must make sure this works as quickly as possible, get the laser link as quickly as possible, ideally in next 2 years. If they delay any further than that, the probability of Starlink working properly from a financial point of view would be very low, very, very, very low. So this was my presentation on August update on Starlink. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.